Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Seven Square Podcast, where we teach and help CEOs really grow and scale their businesses by giving them short, implementable action steps that you can go and apply today. And today, y'all, special episode. I got my main man with me, Corey Sigue, who always joins me, but we also got a guest, a titan in his own right, brother Shannon Smith from the Success is Within podcast. Success Within Reach podcast. My bad. How's it going, Shannon?
Hey, I'm blessed. I woke up today, no complaints.
Hey, man. How about you, Corey?
Well, I'm not on the East Coast like y'all, so I'm probably not freezing, so I'm okay. I'm always all right.
Man, y'all got a dusting of snow in Texas, and y'all sick. Can't move, shut down, pretending, bought all the bread and milk up.
Hey, but let's talk about how they had a 10, 15 car pile up or whatever. So I'm like, y'all need to get y'all life together.
Exactly. Stay off the streets. Stay off the streets. So, Corey, you know, I put a post in. We're going to jump right into it. That's how we get down. I put a post up where I heard Myron Goldman talking about, he asked a question to his clients. He was like, are you serious or are you curious? And so Shannon came in, boom, said that'll be a whole podcast. That's how we get here today. Corey, when you first heard that, give me your take on just being serious or being curious. When you hear that, what does it make you think?
Yeah, like when I first heard it, I honestly was like, man, I run across so many people daily that they just, man, I'm talking, man, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, this is where I want to go in my life. Like, this is, these are the things I want to do. I want to have a business. I want to get these cars. I want to change the world. And then you wrap around like 6 months later, a year later, 6 years later. And, that's like, hey, man, you ever got started on it? Oh, man, well, what I'm trying to do was, and like my whole mind tunes out. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And you sound like Charlie Brown teacher after that. For those of you who don't know, all years, wah, 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 wah. I'm not hearing none of that at this point. Because I'm no longer just trying at life. Like I'm no longer just like kind of curious as far as like what it could be. I'm going after what's mine. So that was my initial thought to it. I was like, man, it's what he did was name, I would say, the majority of people that I run across.
That's good. That's good. Shannon, it obviously resonated something with you because you commented on the post. What was it about that post that made you even comment, like just engage with it? What was it?
Oh man, being in the consulting space, like you come across so many people that's them to a T. You have those that they'll sit there and say, yeah, I want to launch a business. I've been thinking about this. I think I'd be great at that. And then you have those that come to you and say, I already have my game plan. I just need you to help me get to the finish line, and it's almost the difference of how, like Mark Cuban always says, you have entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. A whole lot of people want to do it and they talk a good game. But like Corey said, you talk to them 6 months down the road, a year down the road, they're still talking about what they're going to do or what they want to do. And it's like, at what point do you actually put it down on paper, create an actionable plan and get to work? Your dreams aren't going to build themselves, and too many people stay in the dream phase and never get into what I call the wake up phase and get to work. So, a lot of that is what I thought about when I saw that post. And I was like, man, that's a whole podcast in itself, because too many people just talk when it comes to entrepreneurship. And so few actually get in there and start walking it.
That's good. That's good. And so let's just do a roundtable and think about and help the people that are listening. They may not even know they're in that position. They may think that they're actually serious, but really they're more curious because they're not taking the steps. So let's just talk and roundtable it out on the reasons why people may be in that position. And I'll kick it off because, of course, rest in peace to Bob Proctor. Found out that he passed away. Titan in the game. Bob Proctor said he's studied personal development 50 plus years, every single day. He was serious about it. He talked about listening to Earl Nightingale for 9 years straight in order to learn the principles behind how do you make the money that you want to make. When I think about that, that's serious time. It's serious dedication to do something on a daily basis. If you ever looked at Bob Proctor teach, he had the Think and Grow Rich book on the desk and it was wore out. He wasn't playing with it. He said he read it every day. And so what Bob Proctor talked about with people who don't move forward is because they're not clear on what they want and they don't believe in themselves. So the very first thing that you should do is start to visualize and imagine what that thing is for you, what that ideal life, what the ideal situation, what the ideal business, what does it look like? Can you define it? And then can you dream so much that you begin to manifest it? And when we talk about manifestation, I'm not talking about something that just pops out of the thin air. These things are around us because success, they say, is built on clues, but it's built on the laws of nature, natural business laws, principles that work for everybody if you work them and do what you're supposed to do. So if you're listening and you're in a position to where you don't know what those laws are, you're not dreaming or imagining, you don't know where you want to end up, then that'll be the first step for you to define what success is for you. Because at this point, you are just curious. It sounds good to be an entrepreneur. It sounds good or great to have financial freedom. It sounds great to be a healthy person, but you don't even know what that looks like for you. Most people say they just want to lose weight. How much? What's the body type? What look are you going for? Most people say, I just want to get out of debt and be financially free. What is that number for you? Because I'm sure financial freedom for Jeff Bezos look different than financial freedom for me. So what is it, the financial freedom that you're looking for? So start there. And then I'm going to kick it over to you, Shannon. What is that next step? Once they begin, now the audience has a vision. We just going to say they do the exercise. They got a vision. What do they need to do next?
So after that, you need to map it out. And when I say map it out, I mean from A to Z, not just the name of your business, not just what you think is a dope Instagram handle or the colors that you think will look dope for your website. I mean, completely map out the whole blueprint. So I'm talking about, what does your logistics look like? What does your ideal customer look like? Are you going to be online only, or are you looking to set up a brick and mortar location? Securing your LLC or a corporation, what are you going to do for accounting services and your tax services? Are you getting insurance on your business? How many people do you plan on taking on hand, or are you going to be a solopreneur, as they call it now? You need to map out all of those things. What do your SOPs and your method of operations look like? What does your day-to-day look like? Are you planning on having, online services after your 9 to 5 hours closed? Are you going to have a call center or a customer service that you're going to outsource to run your telephone lines afterwards? Like, you need to think of every single facet of your business and write it down, because that's what makes it actionable. So you could keep it up here all day long and it'll never come to fruition. You need to actually put it on paper, because that's what you bring to the table when you sit with a person like the three of us here and say, okay, I need you to help me build my business. I need you to help me really 10x this thing to get it to the next level, So I need you to, after you finish in that dream phase, after you finish in that concept phase, I need you to map out every single facet: sales, logistics, like I said, insurance, what type of business you're actually setting up, customer acquisition, the whole 9 yards. What does each facet of your business look like? Because then you'll start to get a bigger picture of just how big of a project your launch is going to actually be. Is this something that you can do by yourself? Is this something that a consultant can help get you to the finish line? Is this something you need to go and get a team of people to help you do? Is this something you need to possibly bring on 4 or 5 contractors and start outsourcing certain tasks? You can't do all of those things if you haven't created this blueprint. So that's what I would say is the next phase.
Wow. And Corey, before we jump over to you, that is serious business right there. All the steps that you just outlined, that's serious business. Most people just want to, hey, I just want to go and start. Boom. They don't even need the LLC. They just go, can you put under the table and cash app me? I was talking to a friend of mine, and he might get me for this one, but I was talking to him today. Phenomenal job on creating t-shirts, not t-shirts, but doing embroidery and all of that. And I was like, okay, how I'm gonna pay you? It's like, DM me, message me. I'm like, bro, you need a website. Get you a website so you can because when he puts stuff out, people jump on it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to answer every single DM. Get you a website, put your stuff on the site, let them go order. It's clockwork. You can
Mm-hmm.
grow exponentially by doing that. And what you just talked about, Shannon, was the blueprint of how you start a business legitimately. Are you serious or are you curious? Most people are curious about running the business. They're not serious because they don't ever do any of those steps that you just mentioned. You said SOPs. They're probably like, huh? Do what?
What is a SOP?
What is that soup? Do I eat that?
Right.
So for you, those of you that don't know, SOP is a standard operating procedure. It basically is step by step how you do a specific process in your business. And if you don't have those, then you're not running a business, because if you, the key man, can't go to work and you don't have someone that can step in and follow what you're doing, business stops. So that's why they're important.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you need them. And to your point, Shannon, if you just stay in the vision phase and don't move to action, Gino Wickman said, vision without traction is merely hallucination. So you ain't even dreaming no more. You're hallucinating. You're wishing.
Mm-hmm.
You want to move forward. Again, you're just curious, but you're not serious. What you got, Corey?
Yeah. So, and look, y'all know this is my specialty right here. It's time to move. Like, you have your plan in place, and everything that y'all talked about was real, because that's different phases really of entrepreneurship, right? You have your vision. You say, man, this is what I'm trying to do. And then you map it out. And then it's like, man, I got a really good plan. And then you pick it up, you be like, I got a plan. Everybody, I got a plan. And then nothing ever happens. And to be honest with you, I try to tell people, yeah, you need to map your plan out, map all these things out. But at a certain point, you got to get to moving, because you're going to thank yourself later on when you going through your pitfalls, and it all kind of like you go through that revolution all over again. Mm-hmm. You redefine the vision, you redefine the plan, and then you start moving on it again, right? Tyrus, one of our good mentors, CJ, he said one time, he said, a lot of y'all don't speak until it's time to speak. And that's a lot of you doing business right now. Like, you don't actually do business until you put yourself in the frame of mind to do business. You don't try to lose weight until it's time to actually go to the gym, but the food is still coming though. What you said one time, one of your friends said, you was like, well, you eat every day, right?
Right.
You should work out every day. Right. But that's a lot of y'all right now, is you don't work in your business until something presents itself in your business, and you don't move, right? You don't build relationships with people. You don't try to build these strategic partnerships. You don't get out and tell people about your business. Like something that I was telling Tyrus this year, for those of y'all, I said, man, I'm about to get obnoxious with my business. If you've been paying attention to me, I've been posting a lot more on social media. Man, everywhere I'm going, I'm telling people, yep, this is what I do. Because you're not going to get to a certain point where I'm going to stop for a second. Some of y'all think y'all so dope, and y'all have such a great product, and y'all have such a great service. And then you're just going up to complete strangers and saying, you should just buy it from me. But you don't know how to offer. You don't know how to find a pain point. You don't know how to address a root cause. You don't know. You scared of your price. You throwing out $10,000 and you're like, well, I think it's a 10.
Right.
10. But if you don't do that, I can provide some discounts and it'll be $2,500. So those things, and it's not a knock to anybody who's feeling like that. Those things come through movement, to where when you throw your offer out there and somebody says no, okay, cool, but I'm perfecting that offer. When you perfect the product and you have Shannon, you were just talking about this last night, and I seen you post it one time. You said most of these coaches are talking about how I can scale your business to 6 figures, but most of y'all coaches, the average salary is like $50,000 a year.
Facts.
Yeah, facts.
So you're telling people that you can do all these things for them, and you're probably touching $50,000 a year. Let's be honest with you. You're not scaling anybody $60,000 in 3 months. You're not scaling anybody to 6 figures in 30 days or nothing like that. What they're doing is just selling y'all. But the thing is even in that regard, when you move in your business, you know that those things aren't true. When you move in your business, when you move in your life, you know what the scammers are looking like. You know what looks real. You know what looks false, and you know how to see through the veil. So I would say that's the next part in this, is understanding that movement has to happen. And I guarantee you, once you start to move, you're gonna tell yourself, man, I should have done this like 5 years ago. because now you revamp and you come back and you're like, okay, cool. This is how I move better in this. But you're going to wish you did it earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And man, that's a whole nother podcast to talk about the scammers, the people that ain't making money in the business. I'm talking about most coaches never make 10K month. They never hit 10K months.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that most businesses don't last 5 years. So a lot of these so-called gurus out there won't be around for long. I don't care if they got 2 comma awards or what. They somehow you hit a quick hit because you were able to trick enough people to buy your product. But we're talking about longevity in business. We're talking about, are you serious or are you just curious?
Tyrus, I got to cut you off right there. I'm going to put the disclaimer out for those of y'all listening. I don't want 20,000 followers for like $4.99. I don't want to become verified on Instagram for like $60. And finally, I don't want to be on Forbes such and such to build my authority for however much that costs. I'm just throwing that out there.
Throw that out there. Another part about being serious in business is you're willing to do what it takes and be patient with the process. I think a lot of people aren't patient with the process. I interviewed a friend of mine. We went to college together at Tuskegee, and he was telling me, he's a videographer now. He works with a lot of big names, Boosie, different individuals. So he said, man, I taught myself, I'm self-taught, and it took me 2 years before I got paid. 2 years of grinding with no paycheck for the dream, because he was serious. He said, I was focused, I was serious, I had ambition, I had drive. I had to learn how to do everything. And then he said, even when he started, he was on the phone. Then he got a hand-me-down camera. Then they had him moving this stuff out of wasn't even the top videographer. They had him moving and loading and unloading. He worked his way up. So for some of you, you want to be at the top today. You want to jump out into the game and be the number one person in your industry today. It's not going to happen. You have to build yourself up. Even if you're skilled, you might be sweet at whatever you do, but don't nobody know you. Don't nobody know your product. Don't nobody know your back end. Don't nobody know what kind of customer service you got. So people have to get to know you. They got to get to like you. They got to get to trust you. So trusting the process and just waiting and being serious about putting the work in is the next step that I would take once I start moving. Because once I'm moving, like Corey said, once I got my action steps, I'm moving, I'm doing it, but I know that there are going to be some stumbling blocks. There are going to be some things that don't go the way I want it to go. I lost some money, a lot of money in real estate over 2019, 2020. It didn't go the way I wanted it to go. What did I do, though? I had to trust the process, understand that I knew what I was doing, just keep moving and understand that things happen. Some of you give up too quick. You want to throw in the towel. You want to quit. It ain't working. I think Elon Musk said that people would die to find the charger for their phone, but they won't die for their business. Phone about to die. Where my charger at? Where my charger? Business sinking. Oh, man, I can just quit that. I'll let it go. And some of y'all out there, I ain't talking about everybody. Some of y'all will leave your business owing people. Know you took out them loans. Know you borrowed that money, and you just walk away. So I'm going to get off of that. And Shannon, after you start getting in the process of business, where do you go next?
Oh man, like real quick, you just made me think about something. So many people quit, and the sad thing about it is they quit right when they were on the brink of greatness. It's been 2, 3, 4 months, maybe even 2, 3, 4 years, and you hadn't hit yet, but what you've been gaining is experience. You've been gaining knowledge. You've been gaining wisdom. You've been learning about processes. You've been learning strategies. And because you're not properly documenting your journey and your blueprint, you're not continuously revamping it. You don't even realize you have all of the pieces to the puzzle. They're just scattered all over the table. And you've gotten so frustrated, you just take the puzzle, throw it up in the air. The pieces fall where they do, and you don't even realize you just got that 1,000th piece piece to your puzzle and you throw in the towel and say, you know what, I'm done. It's not working. It's not that it's not working. You're not working.
Ooh.
And because
not
you're
working.
not because you're not working, you're not getting the gratification that you're seeking. And you're because a lot of people they tend to think that it's all about dollars. Business is a game of chess. It's not a game of checkers. You're not going to get that instant gratification. Sometimes you have to make a move now that you're not going to see the fruits of it until 7 moves down the road. So think about that with each process that we're giving you on creating this blueprint to your success, because what you do right now is going to affect you 7, 8, 9 months down the road. What you do in 2022, your business is going to see the fruits of it 23, 24, 25. So don't always just think, oh man, I've been posting like everybody says. I've been putting my name out there like everybody says. I've been, getting Google ads and Facebook ads. I'm not getting any customers. You only need the one right customer and one right year to change your whole life. I literally know a gentleman that was building his business for 7 years. 7 years. Maybe making around 50, 60,000. Took a trip, was talking to a gentleman on the airplane, and that gentleman he was talking to was a billionaire and changed his whole life. He had no clue who this guy was. The guy said, it sounds like you know what you're talking about. You're really passionate about your business. It sounds like you really just need an investor to help you with your marketing and branding. Hey, here's my business card. Give me a call. He goes, looks the guy up in the hotel and damn near passed out.
That's good.
7 years. Are you willing to put in 7 years to build your dream? Are you willing to put that time in? They say it takes 10,000 hours of doing anything to become an expert. Some of y'all haven't even put in 10 hours because you think you're just that dope. Have you put in 10,000 hours into personal development to say that you are a true subject matter expert at what it is that you're out there selling? I don't care how many posts you make. I don't care that you can do a podcast about it. I don't care that you wrote a little ebook about it. Are you truly mastering your craft? Are you truly mastering your talents and your gifts? Because if you're not doing that, none of the processes that we're giving you are going to matter. You've done the vision work. You've done the blueprint work. You've started moving. You've gotten into your processes. And after that, you start documenting your journey. What's working, what's not working, what's working, what's not working, what needs to be revamped, what needs to be outsourced. What do I need a coach for? What do I need a consultant for? Notice I said coach and consultant. They are not the same thing. I need a lot of you entrepreneurs to learn that a coach and a consultant are two completely different things. Yes, you can find a person to be both. However, your conversations will differ depending on which hat they have on at that given moment. So you need to start documenting your journey as you go along, like I said, because each process is going to give you its own twists and turns. When you're branding, when you're marketing, when you're getting all of your legal documents and affairs in order, as you're going out there and trying to acquire customers, as you're brand building, as you're building your website and getting your information out there, every single facet of your business. Once you start ordering materials and getting into your logistics, as you start hiring people, as you start bringing on contractors, as you start bringing on partners and collaborators, every single facet of your business is going to require something different of you. I need you to start documenting what works, what didn't work, what needs to be altered, and what you need help with. And you make that adjustment right then.
Good. That's good.
Don't say, I'll get to it later. Don't say, oh, well, I'll come back around to it because I really want to get such and such out. Whatever doesn't work, fix it right then and there. You never know if you're going to have time to fix that down the road. Because I'm going to tell you, what you don't want is to be like the gentleman I was referencing. You meet somebody that's willing to invest in your business and they say, let's have a meeting. And you say, oh, well, actually, can we push it back? I need to get such and such straight. Oh, I want to change a few things on my website. Oh, I want to talk to my partner. I was thinking about bringing in a good friend of mine. Doesn't work like that.
That's good.
Doesn't work like that.
That's good. Corey, before you get a next step, Shannon, you brought up 2 points, and both of those points, I've been in those situations. One, I like to tell people they need to plan, track, and adjust. Plan, track it, adjust it. Your plan has your processes, your SOPs in it. To track it, what worked, what didn't work. Your KPIs, key performance indicators. Now I know how serious a person is about business when I just ask them certain things. What's your
Mhm.
KPIs? My what? How you tracking what works and what don't work in your business? Oh, I'm just dropping $10,000 a month on Facebook ads. And well, how many clients you got?
6 conversions.
What are your KPIs? What are your KPIs? And then adjust, making slight adjustments along the way instead of, well, this didn't work, so let me burn it all down and start from scratch. No, you don't turn a big ship suddenly. You course correct over time when you realize you off track. So you have to plan it, you got to track it, and then you got to adjust it. And then to your point with the story, I had a similar story, elevator pitch. This is why it's important. People they sleep on the elevator pitch. I was working in an office with a gentleman. I knew he owned his own company. And this was the time I just got into real estate back in 2014. And I was talking about real estate every day. I had the plan. I was going to the real estate meetings. I knew how I would buy, flip, sell, everything. And he was like, why are you not doing it? I said, I don't have the capital. I don't have the money. And he was like, what would you do if you had the money? Boom, I gave him the whole plan. 60 seconds. Probably less than 60 seconds. And he said, let's have a conversation later. And then later, he wrote me a check for $100,000. Started the career there. You have to be ready when the opportunity comes. A lot of y'all ain't ready. You think you're ready, but then when somebody really that's serious about business comes around you, you fold. And that's because you don't have your whole plan together. And it's an elevator pitch, y'all. Elevator. It takes 30 seconds to go between floor and floor. Some of y'all telling your story to the 22nd floor. The man then got off. He got off the elevator. You still talking. Learn how to talk about what you sell, what you offer, what service you provide in 30 seconds, and be able to reach that person so they can help you, so they can invest in you, so they can buy your product. I only want to buy a product if a person got to give me a whole life story behind it. I just want to know if it solved my problem. That's it. You don't see no 5-minute commercials on TV. 30 seconds, 45 seconds. That's it. Learn how to condense what you do into a 30-second pitch. Corey, what you got?
Nah, so what you saying that made me think about something. And then I got to get to my point, okay? So what it made me think about was what story are you telling yourself? So we always want to tell these big long stories. Man, I come from this place and I just want to make it out. No one cares, right? But what story are you telling yourself as far as like where your life is going, what his business is going? If you really think about it, all great marketers tell a story. You watch a Coke commercial, they don't sell you Coke, they sell you a lifestyle. They sell you family. You watch this Nike commercial, they don't sell you clothes, they don't sell you nothing like that. They sell you the ability to just go do it. Right. I feel a certain type of way when when I wear this clothes or when you hear that brand name or whatnot. So understand, like in yourself, Tyrus talked about elevator pitch. What can you pitch to really get a story down and it be impactful and it to pierce that person? Because part of that story is how you going to do it. Right. We don't watch Marvel movies for them to just be like, well, here's the Avengers and this is who they are. And then they went eat dinner and life happened. All right. No, we go watch the Avengers because it's like, this is who they are. This is the problem. This is how they solve the problem. This is how every single team member came in to help solve the problem. And they might have hit some bumps in the road, but look at the outcome and look at where they went. That's honest. That's the Avengers boiled down. If nobody's watched the movie, spoiler alert, they all happen like that. Give or take some people not being there. Anyway, so here's the point that I was going to say. The next piece you have to go and it reminded me as Shannon was talking, I was like, I got the perfect slot for this because a manager that I used to work with really helped me with this one time. And he said, man, Corey, I can drop you in any team and you inject life into them. It don't matter if they had their 2 weeks in. It don't matter how they felt. You inject life in them. He said, I can drop you in a manager group and you inject life in us. He said, I was in a room and it was like you had an aura around you. And I was like, man, I feel like I could really do my job right now. He said, I saw you in front of a director, and that director walked out that room and was like, man, I really feel like I can do better. Like, I really feel like I wasn't doing enough right now.
Mhm.
But he said, the question is, are you the only person that can do it? And I was like, what? Hell yeah, I'm the only person that can do it. But he was like, you're not getting my point. He said, if you're the only person that can do it, then you're just going to run yourself into the ground. So can you
Wow.
find a way to duplicate what you're trying to do in your business? In this particular case, it was, can you duplicate what you're trying to do in this particular business, right? At this job. And so some of y'all never get to a point, y'all been tracking it, you've been logging it, and it's all on a paper. It's all in a book somewhere, but you never put the pieces together to be able to duplicate it again. Now, I guarantee y'all both told that story. Whatever happened in that story where the guy cut you the check tires, the guy cut your guy checked Shannon, there was something in there where the guy said, I could see how he's doing that over and over and over again. That makes sense because that makes money, because it duplicates itself. People make a lot of money in tech, for example, because it's like unlimited scaling. You can create a program that will service countless businesses, countless things, like countless brands. That's why people make so much money, because I can reach out to so many people. So you got to ask yourself, do I have the plan in place to actually duplicate all these things? So you've been logging it, you've been tracking it, you got your vision, you're moving, you're shaking. Look, you're revamping all that stuff. Can you go to somebody and say, now you do it? Unless, and I'm not talking to solopreneurs, because if that's just what you want, it is what it is. I would say most people get into business so they can remove themselves and then say, okay, cool, I'm making this money, I'm living my life. Yeah. You don't see these big celebrities and these stars. LeBron James owns how many businesses? Shaq owns hundreds of businesses. Do you really think that they have time to go deal with 400 Blaze Pizzas or 500 AMCs or JC Penney's or something? They don't have time for that. But what they did was they have a process in place to go ahead and duplicate what they would do in that situation, and somebody's reporting it back to them. So I'll say definitely you got to get to a spot to where you can say, how do I create it again? And how does this other person create it?
That's good. That's good. And we're giving you guys a lot. We give you a lot. But that's because we all serious about what we do. It ain't playtime. We're serious about giving you actionable content. Shannon said it earlier. We just gave you the blueprint to success. Step by step. 3 different individuals. Step by step. And we ain't rehearsed this, y'all. So the principles of business is the same no matter what industry you're in. I start with one thing, Shannon knows the next progression. Corey knows the next progression. And we just cycle it around because that's business. And when you're serious about business, you take the time to learn these principles and then apply them. Having knowledge is worthless. They used to say just knowledge is power. Applied knowledge is power. You can sit around and know everything you want to know. Les Brown said there's a lot of ideas in the graveyard. I believe Jim Rohn said that too. I don't know who said it first, but both of them said it. I heard both of them say it. All the ideas out there in the graveyard, billionaires, because they never took action. Here's the final piece that I have, because as you go, there'll be some things that you won't know. There'll be some blind spots that you'll have. When we're talking about systems and processes, I know some of you just like, I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't even want to do that. All I got is the vision. Well, you need to get a partner or build a team around the things that you don't like to do and you don't want to do. We know that people have different personalities, different profiles, different behavioral tendencies, different values, different thoughts, different way you think is different. So if you find yourself just struggling with that one thing, you need to figure out, do I need to bring in a coach or a consultant? Or do I need to bring in a new team member to help cover that blind spot for me? And so that's the next logical step, is to build a team. Corey started it. Start building your team and then get you some coaching. or get you a consultant. That's the next piece. That's the next phase. There isn't a billionaire on the planet that don't have a coach or a consultant. There isn't a multi-millionaire that don't have somebody in their corner. Even when I was talking about Bob Proctor earlier, he said that he studied Earl Nightingale, but then he showed a picture where he worked with him. He was like, I was right there with him. We know that Jim Rohn was with Mr. Earl Schoaf. We know that Les Brown came up under the same individuals. Jim Rohn, all of them mixed up together. Tony Robbins came from Jim Rohn. All of these guys that we listen to, that we follow, they came behind somebody. They learned. They cut their teeth, so to speak. They didn't get paid a whole lot of money in the beginning, but they knew that they needed to be with those people to go to the next level. Napoleon Hill had Andrew Carnegie and all the other 200 people he interviewed to put together Think and Grow Rich. Who do you have in your corner? And don't be afraid to invest in yourself. See if I can find this other post. Grant Cardone said, your greatness is limited only by the investments you make in yourself. So if you're not investing in yourself, and we could do a whole nother podcast on that, you are limiting yourself. Myron Goldman said, how can you sell anything when you don't want to buy? Money is about circulation. If you don't put out money, how do you expect money to come back to your pocket? Money only works when it's circulated, when it's moving, not when you got it stored in your storehouse. So what investments, are you serious or are you just curious? Because when you start telling people they need a coach or a consultant, they're like, oh, I think I got it. But you still ain't made 50K in a year. You still, people tell me, man, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm out there. I got my own business. I'm like, how much you making? I make 30, 40,000 a year. I'm like, I could work a full-time job and get that. Why go through the struggle or through the hassle? So that's all I got. Shannon, take us through, because you brought it up. Tell us the difference between a coach and a consultant and why you need either one or both in your business at some point.
Okay. So like I said, they're two completely different things. A consultant is the person that you're going to go to, tell them the issues that you're having, either setting up your business or with your already launched business, and they're going to show you how to resolve said problem. Your coach is going to be there to motivate you. They're going to check in with you periodically, see how your progress is going, see how you're feeling, see how you're doing, what's working for you, what's not working for you. A consultant isn't there to hold your hand. No offense to anybody, but a consultant really doesn't care about your feelings. They're there to get you results. They're not there to coach you. They're not there to be a mentor. They're not there to be a cheerleader. A consultant, you are paying them to resolve X problem to get Y results. The consultant is going to say, okay, this is what I'm telling you need to get done to resolve your problem and to get the results that you need. This is what I'm charging you. Cut me my check, get out the way, and let me work. I'm going to get you to that finish line that you're trying to get to. A coach is going to be there to guide you and mentor you along the way. But understand, your coach may not necessarily know how to get you to the finish line. They're helping to get you into the mentality of winning, to get into, a more positive mindset, and help to coach you as far as, overcoming obstacles and facing adversity and those type of things. Consultants only specialize in results. That's what they're there for. I have a problem. I don't know how to fix it. You specialize in whatever. I'm cutting you this check so you can fix it for me. And in the process, some may also teach you how to fix it so that you don't have to keep coming back to them for it. So those are the two differences. Some people need a coach, some people need a consultant, and some people actually need both. And to Tyrus's point, every successful person actually has both. Now, once most people get to the point of where they feel like they're truly successful, they'll keep their coach on board because they no longer need a consultant. They've learned the processes. They have, all of their systems in place. Their method of operations works like clockwork and it's flawless. They have everybody on their team that they need and they're good to go. The whole thing can run whether they get out of bed or not. They just need a coach to guide them along the way as they, maneuver through different pitfalls. And like I said, as they face adversity. But when you're new, and especially when you're still considered a small business, you actually need both. Because we'll just say a t-shirt business. You may know everything there is to know about graphic design. That doesn't mean you know jack squat about business.
Ouch.
And see, a lot of people I'm going to tell you, it's not even the price tag that comes with a consultant that stops you from getting one. It's your own ego.
Ooh,
because you feel like I know everything there is to know about this particular niche. So I don't need anybody's help. I just need to get my business launched. And then you get upset when it's 5, 7, 10 years down the road and you're still not making the money you think you should be making. Sure, you know everything about cosmetology, or you may know everything about the shoe game. You may know everything about graphic design, whatever the case may be. But you don't know about SOPs. You don't know what KPIs are. You don't even have a value proposition on your website. You have no systems in place. You don't even have a payment portal on your website. You don't know business. You have to understand there's always someone that knows something more than you do when it comes to this business game. It is not one size fits all. It's not a cookie cutter game at all. I don't even care if you went to school and got your business admin degree. There's still more to be learned. That's where consulting and coaching comes in, for people to fill in the gaps of the blind spots that you don't see and help you get out of your own way so that you can become the success that you want to become.
I love it. I love it.
And
Corey.
that's the show.
Hey, I
just
need
gave
Corey,
y'all a whole.
man.
He just get right. Let me get the roadcaster out. We needed the roadcaster for this.
Mic drop. Let me just throw my mic down.
Oh,
That was
man.
good.
But nah, he's truthful and honest. And to be honest with you, all three of us sitting right here, that's things that we still need. So we're giving you that info. Here's what I'm gonna tell y'all. I would say these two fellas that I'm sitting with right here are super transparent, right? Along with myself. And a lot of times people like that about us, because we're not just telling you, oh man, like a lot of people will say, man, just get a coach. Okay, cool. Shannon just broke down why you need why you need both or one or the other at a certain point in your life. Shoot, he was talking to me right now. I was like, man, let me go and sign up with one of y'all real quick. But it's true, because man, honestly, if y'all really think about it, the way that a human being is conditioned is we've always had a coach and or a particular consultant in our life. Consultant may be the teacher at school, right? That's saying if you want to do XYZ to get to the next grade, this is what you need to do. Your coach is your parents. There's okay, well, you got it. It's okay. You can, get up. You didn't fell down. It's all right. And then we become adults and just think that we just have it. Shannon just talked to y'all about, that consultant is going to come in and say, hey, cut me my check. No feelings involved. This is how you fix your problem. Now let me get to work. Right. So you become an adult and just think that you got it all. You just understand life. You understand business because you watch 17 YouTube videos. That's not how this stuff works. Like, you get into certain situations and realize that this stuff is not as easy as you think it is. But at the same time, it is as easy as you think it is, because somebody's already done it. You just got to close the gap. There are plenty of peoples out there. When you hire and you spend money, we talked about circulating money. The biggest reason you need to circulate money is that way you can close the gap on something. Don't spend 10 years, spend 10 months trying to spend 7 months with somebody that's already done it, to where you don't have to spend the rest of your life, claiming that you had to get it out the mud to get to this particular level. Nah, circulate the money, get help, get with somebody who can teach you the way. Man, that's the show, man.
That's the show. So takeaways, because everything we give, we want you to go and implement it. You got to start with your vision, create your action plan, start moving, start getting in and trusting that process that you're moving in, start documenting, tracking, establishing the SOPs, talking about the KPIs, making the small adjustments as you go. Then we got to get back to actually focusing in on it, dialing in, being tough, moving into that coaching realm, we talked a little bit about elevator pitches, know your story, and then do you need that coach or consultant or both? And it ain't even do you need. We know you need it. You got to figure out if you're serious enough to go ahead and get it. You got to figure out if you're serious enough to be around the individuals who can take you to the next level. A quick story, and it ain't even a quick story. Some people buy Rolexes and Bentleys, and I ain't even know this because they just don't have a watch. It's a Rolex club. It's a Bentley club. So when you buy those products, you get put into a group of individuals that are where you trying to go, or they already there, or on that next level. So what's the circle you need to get in? What do you need to invest in? Who do you need to invest in so you can take your life and business to the next level and not be stuck where you are just playing business and staying curious about really growing? Some of y'all scared to grow. You don't know what you would do if your business took off. And a lot of businesses fail because of that. You never put the plan together. You never document the processes. You hit something. Social media got you. You're fire. You took all the way off and you couldn't fulfill. And that's the worst thing that can happen, because if you can't fulfill, people, I don't like you. My product was jacked up. I didn't get it. Where is it at? I ain't never doing business with that person again. Then you done. So don't get into that kind of predicament. Take the steps that we just gave you. We just gave you the blueprint to business success right here. Of course, you can go deeper. Of course, there's steps in between the things that we gave you, but we gave you enough to go to YouTube University and figure it out. Google University and figure it out. Shannon, Corey, they know how to reach you. They know how to follow you. How can the people follow you, Shannon? Where can they reach you? What do you have coming up?
Oh man, so you can check me out on Instagram at the_CEO_within. My business consulting company, The CEO Within You. You can find us on the web at www.theceowithinyou.com. Business development, entrepreneur development, leadership development, branding, marketing, website building, whatever it is that you need, we got you.
I love it. And Corey, remind the people, just in case they forgot, in case they don't want to show you no love, where you at?
So you can always find me on I'm mainly on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram too. I drop at minimum a average mindset Monday for those people who are trying to take themselves from the average to the phenomenal mindset. At Corey Sigue on all platforms, even LinkedIn, CoreySigue.com. You can check out the website, provide any inquiry you need there. But Tyrus, there's one thing I just want to ask the people who will listen to this. If we made you laugh, if we taught you something, if you had an epiphany, if you're ready to go start a business after listening to this, if you had a business started and you were trying to give up on it and now you're back in it because of this podcast, please go share this with somebody, because I guarantee you a lot of this information is what somebody really needs to hear, and it would be selfish if we just kept it to ourselves.
I love it. I love it. Well, gentlemen, thank you as always. It was a pleasure dropping and just going through this with you, because I picked up some gems from this. I had some things, insights for myself that I need to go back and apply, because that's what we do. We get stronger, we sharpen one another, and we just grow. There's no competition in between us, because we all serve a particular lane. So for those of you that's like, why are all these consultants together? Because we know that we working, we building, we partnering. We know how to serve one another and add value to each other. You go out and learn and do the same. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of your 7 Square podcast, where we teach successful CEOs and business owners how to scale their businesses the right way and stay in business for a long time. We'll see you on the next one.